At the beginning of the story, we see a blonde-haired man talking on the phone, who gives a strange reaction to seeing a man and says that this neighborhood is very messed up. Did you see that beggar roaming around? And then we are shown the man, who is none other than our main character, who is the material god of Murim, and his name is Kangso. Even before he reached the age of 40, the martial god Kangso had conquered the world. While he is in the midst of consolidating his energy after attaining enlightenment, he suddenly falls into a newly formed rift. Now he arrives in 21st century South Korea, a land desolate with gates and demonic beasts. Now Kangso is very confused and wondering where on earth he is. This place is not the OK Kingdom where he lived. He has no idea where this place is. It's not an illusion, as it looks very lifelike. First, he has to find out what kind of place it is. Then suddenly the people present there are giving strange reactions after seeing him and are talking about him. Then our main character realizes this and says, it is very noisy. And then we are told, whoever the great king Yamra calls by that name will surely die. Anyone who encountered him did not hesitate to dub him the Emperor of Flames. He has no mercy. Leave aside the tears. He took the form of a human being, but his condition was no longer human. Wherever he passed, there were only screams and the stench of blood. No one dared to follow his footsteps because he was none other than the god of death. He cut down the absolute leader of Murim of the dark path was on, and even forced the leader of the heavenly demon sect, which was deeply connected to it, to kneel. Through these series of events, he was revered as the pinnacle among all martial artists, whether righteous or evil, and became known as the god of martial arts. And then we are shown a scene from the Kangso past, where he is sitting and drinking tea. The days of the past seem like dreams to him now. He thought that his life could never escape bloodshed and violence. Then we see a little girl who asks Kangso, "Look at this. Beautiful, is not it?" And then Kangso answers, "I don't know. What beauty do you see in those wild flowers scattered all around?" And then the little girl says, "Tusk, you don't even know what happiness is, sir. Happiness is that feeling and laughter, even when nothing special happens. A day will come when you too will realize this, right? Till then I will share my happiness with you." And then Yamra takes the flower in his hand. And then he started thinking that, by meeting you, I have become a person who can cry and laugh, who knew that happiness would take priority in such a chaotic life. Now that he has found his happiness, what should I do? Should I seek my own happiness in life? I don't need to be so obsessed with crying and laughing, right? Happy life. Is that what they call a quick climb up? Becoming a god and ascending to heaven after attaining enlightenment. And then the scene shifts. We are shown a flashback to how Kangso came into this world. We see Kangso, who is not in her own world but in another world. And then he opens his eyes and starts thinking, where am I? Was I not in the midst of a journey toward immortality? Or could I be attacked by an illusion without even realizing it? Anyway, I should go back soon. Is there any way out of here? I should get out of here first and assess the situation. Then suddenly a demon appears behind his back. Then we see a group of hunters who appears in the same dungeon as Kangso. Then one of the men asked his team leader, "This is supposed to be a class A gate, but isn't it very quiet here?" The team leader replied, "This bastard, did you fall asleep during your theory class? A class dungeon has monsters of greater importance than others." And then the team leader says, "It's been 5 years since that incident, when Team Zero's security was lowered due to a situation like this. They faced a horde of demons gathered inside the gate, and they were eliminated." And the man says sorry. Then the leader sees something and forbids everyone to move. And then the team leader looks at that thing and says, "Damn it, I didn't even realize its presence. Then when did it come here?" And a class monster was hiding as if it was dead. And then that team leader starts moving forward and says to a team member, "Everyone steps back. I'll block it here." Anyway, we are then shown a demon who is already dead. Seeing this, the team leader and everyone else gets surprised. And then they report all this, saying that inside the cave, several corpses of a class Cyclops and B-class magic beads have been found. All high-level demons currently inside the gate have been eliminated. I will report the details after our investigation is over, from which we come to know that Kangso has killed all those monsters. Just then a member comes and says, "The team leader briefing is over." So could it be that there was some kind of internal feud between these demons? The team leader replies, "Even if that's the case, it's impossible for Cyclops to get injured like this with only those low-level magical beasts." And then the member says, "So, some other guilds besides us must have targeted this place. Isn't every guild targeting high-level gates these days?" The team leader replies, "I wonder, is there a guild in South Korea that can blow up in a class dungeon like this without anyone knowing?" The scene changes and we see Kangso walking out of the dungeon. He starts wondering where he is again. After gaining some new senses, when he opened his eyes, he was wandering in a cave full of demons. He wondered why the demons whom he could kill with just one punch came at me so strongly. He somehow managed to get out and went outside. And then he starts looking for something to wear, and then he sees the skeleton of a human being. He takes her clothes and wears them. He again reaches a completely unfamiliar place. All he can see is dirt, collapsed buildings, and white bones. He can't feel any sign of life or movement. Those despicable wizards. In the past, he had to face the fanatics of Heavenly Demon Sect. Those wizards attempted to use magic that was considered forbidden. In magical society, the power he felt at that time is the same even at this time. Although he can currently clear this obscure magic, he cannot use his ability to rush to an unknown place. And then he starts thinking about getting out of here. He will try to go in the direction where he can feel the least amount of this contaminated energy. And then he starts walking. From there, the scene changes and we are shown inside a restaurant, where it was being shown on TV that the Korean Awakening Association has not taken any clear stand regarding the recent gate incident. In the United States and China, where the level of awareness is zero, there is discussion about this gate. We then see a girl and a boy, to whom the girl says, "When will our black bean noodles be served?" Then a girl comes with noodles who is Lim Soyoung, vice president of Yongchungak. She serves noodles. Just then a man with glasses walks in. Seeing this, Lim Soyoung says, "Welcome. Oh my God, it's been a long time since you've been here, right?" They seem to have a history together. And then we find out that the man is Baek Yoon-ho, the team leader of the Awakeners Association. He says, "Hello, please give me a bowl of black bean noodles." Lim Soyoung asked him, "You look really tired. Are you okay?" Baek Yoon-ho replied, "Did you see the news? Another gate has appeared in the land of death. We are dying trying to mediate between guilds feuding over the monopoly on that gate. Because everyone is coming at us trying to monopolize the gate. Everyone is getting out of control. Everyone is racing to secure the magical stones. And accidents inside the gates have increased significantly these days." Then a chef comes, who is Yu Sunti, the boss of Yongchungak, and tells that I know, okay, more gates have been built recently, right? Well, for people like us, we can benefit from the increase in the supply of magical stones, which will reduce its prices. But the continued presence of magical beasts is frightening, and it seems that because of the gate we will have to see what it will be forced is not likely to be visible. Customers are coming from above. Then Baek Yoon-ho says, "No one really leaves their house at a time like this, so they..." Then a box falls, and we see the same blonde boy we saw in the beginning. He works as a delivery boy in this restaurant. And then the blonde man angrily says, "Ah, crap, I can't live like this. There's another door. I can't do this anymore." And then you say, "Hey, that's why I doubled your hourly wage last time." The blonde boy says, "Ah, do you really think my life can only be this much? Since I can't do it anymore, I'll either raise my salary or find someone new to do it for you. Listen, how can you do this suddenly? Don't do that and think about my situation." The blonde boy replied, "Nonsense, can't you understand me? You either raise my salary because I'm risking my life, or hire new people." And Yu Sunta says to Lim Soyoung that, "Oh my God, just think, isn't it time to become young? Why don't you go and get him?" Lim Soyoung replies, "The time has not yet come." Sunti says, "No, you should go now so you won't be late." Lim Soyoung replied, "I understand, I will come back." And Sunti begins to think, people are worried because of the gate, and more residents are leaving the area. So it has become even more difficult to keep even one employee. And this guy is becoming even more stubborn. And then we see a blonde guy who's thinking, he's finally settled here, so he can't leave. The scene shifts, and we see our main character thinking that this is definitely different from where he was, but there are similarities. There are many people with similar inner energy. Then Kang-soo looks at a little girl and says, especially that little girl, she has an energy that sets herself apart from others. If he has such pure energy, could this be a child who knows something? But then a strong wind blows, causing the girl's headband to blow away, and she starts to go after the remaining headband when her mother says, "Hyung, it's dangerous for you to run away." From which we came to know that the name of that little girl is Hyung. Still, the little girl means Hyung doesn't listen to her mother and goes to get the headband. Then she finally gets her headband, but then a truck comes toward the girl. But then Kang-soo saves the kid. Then Kang-soo tells the girl, "It was dangerous. Are you okay?" Then a child's mother comes to him and says to Kang, "So, thank you very much. I don't know how I will be able to repay you." Kang-soo replied that it was okay. "I just feel relieved that the child is safe." And looking at the girl, he began to think that, since he had injected energy into her body to block the veins, he was confident that she would be safe. Then the girl's mother asks Kang, "Are you hurt? Since we can't be sure, why don't we go to the hospital together?" I am right in saying. So, just then, the sound of hunger comes from Kang Soo's stomach. Seeing this, both the little girl and her mother is surprised. And then Hyung asks Kang, "Are you hungry?" It seems that Kang is thinking about the last meal he ate. Those dumplings he ate just before arriving at this place. Then the Hyung gave a cute reaction to Kang So and said, "My father is a chef. Let's eat together." And then that girl's mother says, "Yes, let's do this." As Hang said, "At least eat before you leave. You saved my daughter, so I want to at least feed you." Kang Soo replies, "It's okay. It was something I was supposed to do. It wasn't something I did to get a reward, so there's no need to worry about me. Still, I wouldn't say no." And then the scene changes and we see the inside of the restaurant. Hyeyoung's father Sun is shocked and asks Hyeyoung was almost hit by a car. And then he touches Hyung and says, "Hyung, are you okay? Are you hurt? Should we go to the hospital?" Hyung is okay, dear, Lim Soyoung explains. "This man saved him. I wanted to feed him, so I brought him here." Sun shook Kang So's hand and said, "Oh God, thank you so much for saving our Hyung. I can feed you as much as you want, so please come in." After this, Kang gave a strange reaction and thanked him. Just then, Hyung comes to Kang So and says, "Dad said you can't get dirty when you eat." And then Kang Soo looked at his clothes, which were very dirty. Big Santa then gave some clothes to Kang Soo too, wear and said, "After I gained weight, these clothes no longer fit me. Since we are the same height, these clothes should fit you. Look, I'll give you socks too." Then Kang Soo looks around and starts wondering, is this the bathroom? Its 4 arms are extremely bright and radiant. But where is the well? And Kang Soo looks towards the toilet and says, "Sunti, excuse me, I'm sorry, but there is not enough water in the well." And then Baek Santa gets confused and replies, "Excuse me? Thoroughly, what are you talking about?" Kang Soo shows the toilet and tells Sunt, "This well is right here. There is very little water to wash my body." Santa gets shocked seeing this and says, "Gasp, that is not a well, that's the toilet." After this Kang replies, "Toilet? Did you mean to say toilet?" Santi said, "Yes, that is correct. Of course, toilet water is also tap water, but would you like to take a bath first?" And then he shows Kang So the shower and further explains that if you turn this lever the water will come out. And then Kang Soo turns on the shower, due to which the shower throws water everywhere. Sant tells him to quickly turn off the shower. We see that Kang got scared and said, "How is the snake spraying water here?" Sunti explains that it is not a snake, but a shower head, and then he turns off the shower and say tiredly, "Sunti, finally it's over." Kang Soo wipes his face and says, "What a refreshing thank you." Then suddenly Sant asks Kang, "Sorry if I have gone too far, but where are you from?" And then Kang Soo starts wondering how he should explain his situation. And then we see Kang Soo tell both of them that he has lost his memories. And he explains that he hasn't lost all his memories, but he doesn't know how he got here from where he lived before. Sunt reacts and says, "Oh God, that's it, that's why you were dressed like that. It seems as if the cave you came out of a door." Kang Soo asks about the gate, what it is. Sant explains that these are places that suddenly appeared one day. To this day, they still don't know what they are. Those places are like doors, where things suddenly appear and disappear. Sometimes they're people who get swept away by the gate, lose their memories and become isolated before returning. In severe cases, they lose all their existing memories, and they even lose their sense of civilization. That is why they call the stranded and returned people separatists. Says, "Anyway, I will tell you the details later. First of all, let's eat the food before it gets cold." And then Kang Soo says thanks for the food. And looking at the food he asks, based on the color, this food doesn't look safe. Looking at this food, it reminded him of the water training he received in the swamp as a child. At that time, in order to survive, Kang struggled for some time, drinking water in the swamp which was polluted with blood and filth. Then suddenly Hyung asks Kang, why is he not eating? Didn't he like black bean noodles? Kang replied, how do they eat this food? Hyung explains that for this you will have to mix it and rotate it here and there. And then Hyung feeds Kang Soo some noodles. After eating noodles, Kang Soo finds the noodles very tasty. For starters, although a little strange in appearance, the taste is amazing. A taste he couldn't experience anywhere else. Sant explains that he wanted to treat Kang better, but it was too late, and he didn't have a lot of stuff. Then Lim Soyoung says, next time we will treat you even better. Kang replied that he just wanted to eat another bowl of it. Lim Soyoung says, okay, I'll give you as much as you want. The scene changes and we see Kang Soo saying thanks for the food. If you want black bean noodles, again Baksant would recommend nothing more than stopping by anytime. Just then Kang Soo sees a notice for a delivery boy job and Kang Soo asks Baksant, what does this sign on the front door means? Part-time delivery worker required. Sant explains, it means that we are looking for people who can work for us. The workers we requested unfair wages ... so we are immediately recruiting new workers. Kong asks, if someone does delivery, does that mean he gets room and board too? Sant says yes, because there are very few people willing to do the job. Kang needed a place to stay before returning to his original world, so now is a good time. If he starts working here, he will be able to learn how to live in this world. Kong asks Beck Sant about this job. Can he take it? Sant replied, do you want it? We would be grateful if you did, but since you are a separatist, a legislator. Then suddenly Lim Soyoung says, dear, he is the one who saved Hyung. Why should we help? I heard there was a way for civilians to become guarantors for the separatists. This is an arranged relationship. Why don't we guarantee his identity and appoint him as a delivery man? It is said, Sunti, it is true, this was the way. Okay, I will be your guarantor. Kang Soo replied, thank you very much. I will try my best in this delivery job. My name is Kang Soo. I am 35 years old. Since we're the same age, why don't we talk informally? Kang replied, of course, I look forward to working with you, Sunti. And then saying this, they fold both their hands. And then we are shown a scene from Kang Soo's past life in which the sweet little girl takes the name Kang Soo and tells us that this is a name I made up in the hopes that you will always smile. Kang replies that you don't have any talent for naming. And then the girls say, that's a very beautiful, strong smile, Kang Soo. Kang Soo is the short form of Kang and Miso, which means a strong smile. Kang Soo looks at the girl and starts smiling and says, okay, Kang Soo, let's use this as my name. The scene changes and we see Kang Soo, who is meditating in his room. Then Kang Soo opens his eyes and explains, this place is full of pure energy. There are many things that I couldn't even imagine where I lived. It is truly a magical place. Just then Santi comes into the room. Kang Soo says good morning to Sunti. Sunti asks, what are you doing after switching off the lights? Kong says, I only came here because there are no candles. And then Sunt thinks I should also tell him how to turn on the lights. And then Sunti tells Kang, if you press the button here, the lights will come on. Kang Soo, this looks interesting. Just then Sueung comes and asks Kang Soo, oh my god, did you wake up early? Good morning, Kang Soo. Kang Soo speaks to Sueung, will you start cooking at this time? But then Sunti tells, it is not so, but we should prepare for the business. There is still a lot of work. Kang Soo asks, Sunti, can I help with something? Although you can relax a little more. I'm sorry for making you do anything other than delivery. Kang replied that he did not care. He wants to repay the kindness you showed me. Sunti says, can I ask you to clean? Kang was given a vacuum cleaner to handle the work, but his reaction was not typical. He raised the vacuum cleaner as if it were a wonder weapon. However, there was one small problem. He had no idea how to use it. Thankfully, Sue came to the rescue with a detailed explanation of her work. Sue explains how the vacuum works, emphasizing its dust-sucking power and how it cleans efficiently when you press the power. Despite his initial nervousness, Kang decides to give it a chance, as he aimed the vacuum cleaner at himself. For a moment it seemed as if he would be sucked straight into the machine. It was clear that he would need some time to master this new cleaning equipment. Soon, Kang is left to his own devices, as Sue directs him back to the kitchen. The situation seemed difficult to Kang, who considered whether he should use some of his powers to make the task easier. He raised his hand in the air and, to everyone's surprise, a swirling cloud of dust was formed. Then, as if by magic, all the scattered debris went into the trash. Kang was proving to be not just a sweeper but a true master of cleanliness. On to the next, Kang brought a container of water and started cleaning everything, making it shiny. This level of cleaning was nothing short of perfection, and Kang was satisfied with his work. As he was completing the work, Sant entered the room and noticed a remarkable change from disorder to pristine cleanliness. In the end, Kang not only conquered the vacuum cleaner, but demonstrated his amazing ability to clean things thoroughly and efficiently. He seemed to have an innate talent for just about anything. As the saying goes, done and dusted. And with the arrival of Sant, it seemed that everything was in perfect order. Santi was surprised and asked Kang Soo if this was his normal ability. Kang Soo replied, saying that his abilities were normal for him. Sant was shocked and wondered if Kino was a high-level awakened being. He said that, ever since the door, which was a mysterious door, opened 25 years ago, people started exhibiting amazing abilities. Sant noticed that the gate was purple in color and wondered if it had any significance. He explained that people around him had a special aura that allowed them to perform telekinesis or control elemental forces. Sant saw some people lifting furniture with their minds, and others wielding weapons with powerful glowing effects. He speculated that the woman with the sword was an attacker, while the woman with the mace was a formidable protector. Sant further explained that the efficiency of controlling one's aura determines their grades. He showed 3 individuals as examples of different grades of proficiency. The better a person is at controlling his aura, the higher his grade will be. This also meant that they would be treated differently based on their abilities. Sant is shocked by all this information and reveals that he used to work as a porter for the Awakeners, but none of them could handle his aura as efficiently as he could. He felt that his time was wasted in working among them. However, Kino surprises Sant by revealing that he has no plans to become a hunter. Sant did not understand why this was so and said that high-level awakened people were highly respected, almost like nobles. This confused Sant even more. Kino clenched his fists and expressed regret over his past pursuit of wealth and honor. He realized how fleeting and imperfect they were. Sant is surprised by Kano's words and questions whether he has regained his memories. Kino clarified that he did not get his memories back but shared his story. He explained that he woke up in the middle of a mysterious portal and was being chased by a powerful energy. During his journey he met his daughter Hen and rescued her. Sant was surprised by this revelation. Kino assures Sant that he has no intention of betraying her. He just wanted to share his experiences. Sant begins to understand that there is more to Kino than meets the eye. Then suddenly Sant put his hand on Kang So's shoulder. This made the Santi cry and talk about how hard it was to end up in a strange place. Sant seemed like a sensitive person, and they decided to keep his secret life hidden.
Then the scene changes to the Hunter's Tower. In the tower's support unit 1, a man was sleeping. A woman entered the office and shouted, "Hey, Sung Jin-ho!" The man immediately woke up upon hearing her. This man is Sung Jin-ho, Support Unit 1's leader. The woman, Kim Myung, Inspection Unit 2's leader, asked Sung Jin-ho if he stayed up all night again, expressing concern about overworking. Sung Jin-ho retorted, "What the hell? Are you here to nag at me?" Kim Myung inquired about why he had to put in an all-nighter. Sung Jin-ho explained, "It's about that recent zero-level gate case. I have no idea where to start at all." Kim Myung handed him a paper related to the case and asked if he's still searching for the zero-level awakener. Sung Jin-ho's face turned pale when he saw the paper. It was an order from the chairman to terminate the case. Kim Myung already knew what was written in that paper, and Sung Jin-ho was frustrated. He said, "There was finally a chance that our country could have a level 0 awakener. This is an opportunity. If we can secure that awakener, Korea could quickly establish its position among the allied countries." Kim Myung questioned, "But what if we ultimately fail to secure him?" Sung Jin-ho assured her, "Don't worry, we will definitely find him." Kim Myung said she'll handle the chairman somehow and told Sung Jin-ho to investigate as quickly as possible. She left for lunch, and Sung Jin-ho, frustrated, asked if she's heading out and invited her for lunch. Kim Myung replied that she has a prior engagement, having lunch with her younger sibling for the first time in a while. Sung Jin-ho asked if her brother is team leader Kim from the infirmary. Kim Myung confirmed and invited Sung Jin-ho to join them, but he declined, opting to pick up something from the convenience store. They discussed a popular local restaurant recommended by team leader Baek Yoon-ho. Sung Jin-ho suggested it might be the same place recommended by team leader Baek. The restaurant they were talking about was Spring Pavilion, where Kong was working. Myung and her brother, both of them, arrived at the restaurant. Her brother said, "I've been wanting to come here with you, Nuna. I was really looking forward to it. I have been here before, and the black bean noodles here are truly a masterpiece." Myung was surprised to see that restaurant. Her brother, who is the head of Medical Team 1, Kim Myung-jin, when saw her surprised face, he asked her if she didn't like black bean noodles. Myung laughed and said, "Not at all. It's a meal with you after such a long time. What would this Nuna not like? I love black bean noodles." Myung was surprised because she was thinking of treating Myungjin to something expensive for once. Myung said, "This is the place team leader Baek recommended, right? I'm looking forward to it. It must be delicious if team leader Baek said so." While talking, both of them entered the restaurant, but Myung was surprised to see the restaurant. There was no one inside except So-young, who welcomed them. So-young showed them their seat and told them to call her when they are ready to order. When So-young left, Myung asked Myungjin, "Is this really a good restaurant? Why is it so quiet?" Myungjin said, "Oh, come on. I can guarantee the taste." Myungjin said, "I am going for black bean noodles." Myung said, "Then I'll have black bean noodles too." Myungjin called So-young to order. Myungjin smiled and said, "I would have the black bean noodles, Nuna." So-young was impressed by Myungjin's charismatic personality. But Myung spit out her water because Myungjin radiated an even stronger aura. Myung said, "Brother, you've gotten quite good at socializing." Myungjin laughs and said, "This is the basics." He quickly regained his composure and asked Myung about the recent events. Myung mentioned the troublesome Grade A dungeon and how it was causing a headache for the country's association. She expressed her frustration with the association's inability to handle the situation, as people on social media were criticizing them harshly. She said, "Since this incident has attracted so much attention, if we fail to secure even the level 0 who appeared, how much further into the abyss will the association's image fall?" The chairman did order the case to be closed. Ma Young mentioned her colleague, Director Seong Jinho, from the support division. She said, "That guy is totally serious about finding this awakened individual." Myungjin laughs and said, "It must be tough being caught in the middle, Nuna." Myung said, "If we drop the case as the chairman says, it would be easier, but what can we do? Both Jinho and I are knowingly making life hard for ourselves." Suddenly, Myung noticed something strange behind her and became alarmed. Myungjin wondered what had caught her attention. Myung sensed a powerful energy and saw Kang standing there. She felt like Kang was emitting an incredible aura. She was certain she didn't sense anything until just a moment ago. But she just felt something from Kang. Myung thought, "It seems like he was detected by my aura sensing skill, but to emit such tremendous energy in an instant, is it even possible to conceal one's energy that quickly?" Myung thought, "If I'm not mistaken, that man is at least an A class. No, perhaps he might be comparable to the level 0 awakener that the association is searching for." As Myung was lost in her thoughts, Soyoung arrived with the black bean noodles. The tantalizing aroma filled the air, and everyone eagerly dug in. Myung couldn't help but wonder about the incredible aura she sensed from Kang-soo. She realized that this encounter could potentially change everything for the association. But when Mayong tasted the noodles, all her thoughts and worries stopped. Mayong, in a heavy voice, said, "Kim Mayongjin, are you kidding me?" Mayongjin got scared when he heard that. He asked, "Why don't you like it, Nuna?" Mayong raised her plate and exclaimed that it was indeed the best. She even believed it was prepared by a noodle deity. She started to eat like crazy, saying, "Black bean noodles shouldn't even be allowed to be this tasty." When all her attention was on eating, Kong started to observe. He looked at her and was amazed that there's someone with an exceptional sense of energy here as well. Kong sensed that Myung and Myungjin's energies are a bit different, but both possess the caliber of a master. He thought, could they be the ones known as awakeners? He noted that he must stay alert. He didn't know when his energy might be detected. He made a mental note to explore the awakener's presence and understand the truth behind it. The next day, Kong was using his water control power to clean the restaurant. The whole restaurant was shining, but Kong was not satisfied. He admitted that it's still a lot cleaner. He is still not completely used to life in this place. But he is learning a lot from the couple Suntae and Soyoung. Kong thought, I can learn slowly at my own pace. There's no need to be impatient, but I should look more into these awakeners. Suddenly, a loud noise caught his attention. Kang rushed outside to find the source of the roar. To his surprise, it was Suntae. When Suntae saw Kong, he said, "Good timing. I was just about to call you." Kong asked Suntae, "Was that sound just now coming from that?" Kong was referring to the motorcycle. Suntae said, "Yeah, that's right." He told Kong that this is something you ride called a motorcycle. You'll need this when you go on deliveries. Suntae explained that it's important for safety. He emphasized the need for caution while riding a motorcycle. Kong donned the helmet and compared it to a cavalry helmet. Suntae said, "All right, if you're finished putting it on, hop on behind me." When Kong sat behind, he said, "This feels like riding a pony." Suntae laughed and said, "Although it's similar, this is way faster than a horse, so don't be too shocked." Suntae started the bike and told Kong to hold on tight. When they reached the highway, Suntae changed gears and rode fast. Suntae asked, "How is it, Kong? You're not getting motion sickness, are you?" Kang asked Suntae, "Is it only possible to work as a delivery man by riding this?" Suntae asked him if he is scared. Suntae said, "If you are scared, then working in delivery might be difficult. You can't cover the range of delivery on foot. There's no other method that'll get you through narrow roads quickly." Kong thought, yeah, one has to deliver food quickly. However, isn't this too slow and the sound is too loud? Kong thought, it'd be faster for me to use Gyunggong. Suntae stopped in front of an apartment complex. He told Kong that a lot of their regulars are at this apartment complex, so he'll need to come here often. Kong was confused. He said, "Suntae, Didn't you say this was a dangerous place where the demonic beasts appear? Then why do people continue to live in such a dangerous place? Suntae told him that it is dangerous, but it's not to the extent that people can't live here. 25 years ago, even after the demonic beasts first appeared, this land wasn't inhabitable. However, soon after, people found out that you could use the energy from Manhwa stones to form a barrier, and people were able to live here using that skill. Kong asked him what he meant by Manhwa stones. Suntae was surprised that he did not mention it before. He said they're like gems found in demonic beasts' corpses. They have so much energy that the stones started to become alternative energy sources. Thanks to it, we've been able to advance scientific technology too. Suntae said, even so, the possibility of danger isn't completely gone, so be careful, Kong. Moving on from small talk, Suntae surprises Kong by pulling out a can of Coke. He offers it to Kang, who becomes nervous upon hearing the fizzing sound. This is a completely new experience for him, as he has never encountered such a beverage before. Kang, who had never tasted anything quite like it before, took a sip of the mysterious drink, and instantly, he felt a surge of energy electrify his entire body. It was a feeling unlike any he had ever experienced. Kong said, this sweetness that prickles and leaves my mouth to my stomach refreshed. It's like the moment where enlightenment hits like lightning. Kong said, it's an odd drink. Kong can't even compare this taste to the drink he got from the Northern Sea Ice Palace. Suntae laughs and said, how is it? Shocking, right? He said, moreover, it clears your stomach when you get indigestion. Kong was amazed that it even acts as a digestive aid. Then Suntae said, since we've rested up, shall we head back? But before going, Kong asked Suntae, do you need to ride this to do deliveries? Suntae was surprised when Kong asked that. Kong said, I'm asking if that motorcycle is necessary. Suntae said, well, there are other means of travel, but nothing works as well as motorcycles. Kong expressed his desire to make deliveries on foot instead of using a motorcycle. Suntae was shocked. Suntae told Kong that if the delivery is slow, the noodles get soggy, so it won't taste good. Also, the longer it takes, the more the customers will get angry. Kong said, don't worry about that, since I'm way faster than that. Suntae was shocked. He said, is that even possible? Wait, Suntae thought. It's not completely impossible. Based on what I saw, if Kong really is above a high-ranking A-class awakener, then it's possible. Kong said, if you don't believe me, we can do a test on our way back. Suntae hopped on the motorcycle and asked Kong if he remembered the way back. Kong said, yeah, I remember. Suntae said, it's not that I don't believe you, I just need to confirm. I will ride the motorcycle, and you would go on foot. If Kong really arrives at the restaurant first, I'll let you do deliveries without the motorcycle. Suntae started the motorcycle and shouted, we start the race now. The reason why Kong, who once saved lives, was called the Emperor of Flames, was due to his remarkable light skill known as the invisible body technique. Just like its name, not even a trace of his shadow can be found, and he could swiftly and covertly cut off his target's breath. After surpassing his title as the top lifesaver, and being known as the God of Death, Kong, who had achieved a new level of enlightenment, cultivated his invisible body technique. Its name is none other than Void Invisible Body Technique. It wasn't just about concealing one's presence, but rather completely merging into the natural surroundings, making it impossible to sense one's presence. It not only provided concealment, but also boasted exceptional agility. This new technique, along with Kong's strong martial arts, gave him the title of the Martial Arts God, an even greater existence than the God of Death. When Suntae arrives at the restaurant, he removes the helmet, wondering where Kong is now. He was feeling bad because he increased his speed a lot more than usual, thinking of this as a match. He opened the door of the restaurant, but he was shocked because the one who welcomed him was Kong. Suntae was shocked that Kong arrived here first. He asked Kong when did he arrive. Soyoung told him that Kong arrived 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago? That was too shocking for Soyoung. Suntae admits, just as Kong said, Kong can deliver without riding a motorcycle. Suntae expresses a keen interest in witnessing Kong's power, suggesting that they take the Awakener's test together. Excitedly, Kong agrees, and they set off on their adventure. Both Kong and Suntae headed towards the Hunter's Tower. Suntae states that they have finally arrived, emphasizing the lengthy process involved in reaching this point. They had to obtain an identification card, provide an address, and even disclosed their first and last names, as well as proof of residency. It had been a challenging journey for Suntae, but he knew it was all worth it to have a martial arts deity like Kingo on their side. But before going in, Kong asked Suntae, "What should I do in that Awakener's test?" Suntae told Kong that when Kong goes in for the test, he will be given 2 beads that are slightly bigger than his fists. Electrical energy will run between those 2 beads, and the more energy that passes through his body, the lower his class. The more he blocks the energy from passing through him, the higher his class will be. In other words, receiving a higher class means that less energy can flow into his body. Kong didn't understand everything, but he asked Suntae, "The most important thing, is it good to get a higher class?" Suntae said, "Of course, your life will turn around right away." Some were treated as if they're national-level treasures. He told Kong that if your class is high, you'll have a comfortable life. Kong was not happy to hear that. If it were another person, they might have danced happily in a situation like this. But Kong knows better than anyone that wealth and fame are both meaningless. Human desires are endless, and their forms are diverse. No matter how much you fill them up, there's no way to satisfy them. Kong grew sick of such a world. Living in seclusion with that kid in a mountain village was more peaceful. Kong noted that he can't let his peaceful life be disrupted here. Kong said, "I have to control my inner energy for now." Kong started to move, and Suntae wished him good luck. But Kong suddenly stopped. Before starting the test, Kong had to ask Suntae which door he should go through. It was clear that Kong-ho was still learning about the real world around him. As he stepped into the elevator, he was surprised to see that it showed the floor he was on, and that the door opened by itself. This was all new and fascinating to Kong, but he knew it was because he came from a different world. Finally, Kong arrived and was greeted by someone named Park Soo-eun. Park Soo-eun introduced himself as the team leader of Unit 2 and would be responsible for Kong-ho during the test. They shook hands, and it was time to begin. Park Soo-eun said, "It's been really a long time since I met an isolationist." Kong was a little surprised. Park Soo-eun told Kong that just over a decade ago, there were quite a few cases of isolationists, but as South Korea regained control over most of its territory, its rate has significantly declined. He laughs and said there's no hope for the North back then, and even now. Park Soo-eun was talking about North Korea, but Kong gets confused as he doesn't know Korea's history. They kept walking until they reached a big steel door. Park Soo-eun explained that this was where Kong would take the test, and the training that Kong will have to complete will be determined based on his results. Then they went inside. Inside the room, they met a woman who would guide Kong through the testing procedure. Kong was excited and curious to see what would happen next. He saw the beads that Suntae was talking about. The instructor tells Kong to put his hands on the beads without moving. Kong does as instructed and feels a weird purple energy coming from it. Kong remembers that, according to Suntae, the stronger Kong resists this flow, the higher the class Kong will receive. So Kong didn't oppose. He controlled his body's internal energy, and the test ends like that. The instructor told Kong that he can stop now and take his hands off those beads. The woman announces that Kong's results are in the F class. Park Soo-eun was a little surprised by that. Kong asks the instructor what F class means. The instructor told Kong that it's a class that is a little better than an ordinary person. Ordinary people who have no abilities are G class. Park Soo-eun thought that before taking the test, everyone dreams of getting a high class, and Kong must have had high expectations since he's an isolationist. How disappointed must he have been with his result as an F class, which is at the level of an ordinary person. Kind-hearted Park Soo-eun was worried about Kong, but on the other hand, Kong was thinking that he made a mistake. He should have tried to get G class, which is the lowest class. Park Soo-eun started to cry for Kong. He tried to cheer Kong up, saying that one's class doesn't determine everything in life. Kong was very confused about what instructor Park Soo-eun was getting excited for. The scene changes, and we see the Korean Awakening Association. The association acts with Support Department 1, which maintains first-class secrets as its top priority. At its center, the closer their number is to 1, the more important their missions. The team leader of Support Department 2 is in charge of the isolationists' education. That's how importantly that work is treated. The reason why it's so important is that, among the isolationists, there are a lot of high-class awakeners. That's why, even if it pushes back their main work, their education is designated as the team leader's direct responsibility. Then we see Sung Jin-ho, who is running and searching for someone. He is the leader of the Awakeners Association Team 1. Then we see Park Suwon, who is still working. Jinho comes and asks, "Are you working overtime again, Park Suwon?" Park Suwon is surprised to see him and says, "How did the one member of the department who is even boozier than me come here?" Jinho replies, "I hear there is an isolationist joint education order. Since you're in charge and I'm still on duty, I came to see if you'd like to have a late-night snack with me." Jinho said, "Park Suwon, the Awakener class, how'd it turn out?" Park Suwon told Jinho to see for himself. He's the first isolationist to appear in a while. The department head didn't really make it obvious, but he was really disappointed. And then we find out they're both talking about Kong. Jinho asks if he was really only Class F ranked. Park Suwon explains, "Well, there are cases like this. Since he is an isolationist, he will face some trouble, and it would have been easier for him if he was upper class." Then Park Suwon asks, "Are you on duty today? I'm very hungry, so how about some spicy rice cakes as a late-night snack?" But he stops talking because Jinho was very angry. He grabbed Park Suwon and shouted, "Did I come all the way here just for some spicy rice cakes?" Jinho said, "We will order black bean noodles, sweet and sour pork." That night, Jinho dragged Park Suwon to every bar and hotel and ate until they were heart content. Then the next day, suddenly Kong wakes up in a strange room. He starts to panic, thinking that he's supposed to be at work in the spring pavilion. But when he looks at the clock, it's already 5:50. Then he realizes he's still in the Awakening Center. Kong feels more exhausted than usual, probably because he learned a lot throughout the day. He's an Awakener, and he spends his time getting informed about all the things he needs to know. However, there was a period of time where Kong was quite satisfied. The day before, after the afternoon education when it was snack time, Kong got to try roll cake for the first time there. Kong describes that it was a taste that, following black bean noodles, surprised Kong, who was confident that he had tasted all sorts of delicacies. But he's so tired that he considers using a technique called cheap breathing to combat his exhaustion. The only problem is that if he does it here, it might be risky. If they find out Kong is not an F-class Awakener, things will become troublesome. Kong remembers when he almost got caught by that woman who came to eat black bean noodles. And since this place is an association where Awakeners work all the time, there might be people who have even better senses than that woman. Kong knows that he needs to be careful. He then folds his arms, lowers himself onto the seat, and wonders why these people go through so much trouble. Kong said, "The content of the education is more useful than I thought." Yesterday afternoon, at the educational room, Park Suwon told the story about the first gate which appeared on Earth. Park Suwon told Kong that an S-class gate suddenly reversed. A multitude of demonic beasts came out. At that time, civilians and Awakeners were injured. That war was later named the Great Clash. With some difficulty, humanity managed to subdue all the demonic beasts, but the field of the Great Clash was destroyed, and it became the Land of Death, where even criminals don't hide. Land of Death rings a bell for Kong. That's the place Kong first encountered when he came out of the gate. Kong reflects on the fact that if 2 additional S-class gates were to appear, the country would not survive more than a month. Based on the education Kong received currently, the state of Korea is like a series of dangerously balanced blocks congregated at the top. According to the situation, even a small crisis will topple the tower. In such a situation, if a transcendent being like Kong appeared, then it would be impossible for Kong to live a peaceful life. Kong said, "This may be a selfish thought, but if I want to continue living a peaceful life, I can't let people find out about my identity." Kang felt someone's presence at his door, and by their aura, he identified that the person at the door is team leader Park Suwon. Park Suwon knocked on the door and asked Kang if he is awake. Kang said yes and asked him to come inside. However, when Park Suwon entered, Kong was surprised to see him. Park Suwon looked very gloomy and tired. Kang made a cup of coffee and offered it to Park Suwon. When Park Suwon saw Kang making coffee, he was amazed and said, "How surprising, Mr. Kang. This is something you just learned yesterday, and you're making a cup of coffee so naturally after only 1 day." Kang replied, "It's because Mr. Park taught me so well." He gave the cup to Park Suwon and said, "If you drink this coffee, you'll be less tired." Kang mixed some of his energy into the coffee so that Park Suwon could recover his energy. Park Suwon received the coffee from Kang but hesitated to drink it as he didn't know how it would taste. However, as Park Suwon drank the coffee, he felt very refreshed. He said, "It feels as if I woke right up as soon as I drank this coffee." He even thought, if this coffee came from a dungeon. Kang didn't say anything, but because Park Soon was very passionate about yesterday's education, Kang simply instilled some energy into the coffee in exchange. After finishing his coffee, Kang said, "Team leader, what does today's education schedule look like?" Park Soon told him that this morning they would start with experiencing the cafeteria. When Kang heard the word cafeteria, he got excited and said, "I'm looking forward to that." Park Soon laughed when he saw Kang behaving like that. He informed Kang that he told the cafeteria chef to pay special attention to today's breakfast menu. When they arrived at the cafeteria, it was quite crowded. Park Soon said, "Even in the morning, isn't it too much?" Kang thought and said, "It's like a canteen on the battlefield." Park Soon laughed and said, "The workplace is like a battlefield, so it's a good analogy. But it's not a real battlefield, so eat as much as you'd like." He told Kang, "You can put as much food on your tray as you'd like." Kang asked him, "Wouldn't there not be enough for the people who come late then?" Park Soon looked at Kang and said, "Mr. Kangso, you're a very thoughtful person, but there's no need to worry. If food runs out, the cafeteria workers will make more." When Kang heard that they would make more food, he said, "It's very amazing." Park Soon said, "It's all because we live in an era of abundance after recovering." When they were searching for seats, Kang said, "The abundance of supplies is amazing, but the most surprising thing is something else." Park Soon asked, "Oh, what is it?" Kang told him that the most amazing thing is the speed of the distribution process and the excellent ability to store ingredients. They found a place to sit, and Park Soon was amazed that Kang, an isolationist, thinks that far with just this much information. He laughed and told Kang that it's all thanks to the work of scientists. He said, "Thanks to them, we can eat different foods every day. This is a time of healing for office workers." Kang, with a serious expression, said, "Meal times are definitely the most enjoyable." After the meal, they followed the next thing in their schedule. They were in an elevator, and Park Soon asked Kang how the food was. Kang replied that it was a very satisfying meal. Then Park Soon mentioned that after a simple tour and explanation, they will stop today's lesson there. Kang asked him why they are stopping training earlier than expected. Park Soon explained that if they follow the original documents, then they will be having an evening class with battle skills training. But Mr. Kang is an F class, so they will omit that class and skip it. There's a convenient part of being an F class. Park Soon said that, but he doesn't like it one bit. He is omitting parts of the schedule because of his piled-up work. Park Soon cannot forgive himself that he is using isolationist Kang's innocence to his advantage. Then the lift door opens, and they arrive at the training room. Park Soon told Kang that as long as someone is in possession of an Awakener license, anyone can train here regardless of class. In that training room, Kang saw people working out and doing exercises. The training room is modern and well-equipped. Park Soon told Kang that any Awakener is allowed to use the training center facilities, as long as they are not a criminal using their awakened ability for bad purposes. He told Kang that if he wants to use this place, he is more than welcome to. However, Kang immediately says that he doesn't need to. Park Soon was surprised, and he told Kang that there's not even a usage fee, and he can explain a few things for him to apply. Kang thanked him and told him that there's nothing he can use this training facility for. Park Soon is confused and asks Kang what his plans are for the future. Kang just looks at him but doesn't say anything. After a few days, Kang completed his training and left the association tower. Couple Soo-young and Soon-tae come to pick up Kang. Kang gets happy and thanks them that they came to meet him halfway. Soon-tae laughs and tells him that he doesn't need to thank them. He asks Kang his class. Kang pulls out his Hunter Association card and shows them that he is F class. When Soo-young sees that, she is surprised. She asks Kang why he didn't want to get Class G, the class of ordinary people. With a sad expression, Kang said he couldn't control his internal energy in time, so he got a higher class than he wanted. Sun-tae laughs and tells Kang it's for the better because if someone like Kang is an ordinary person, then it'll be more suspicious. Kang asks Soon-tae if he is that suspicious. Soon-tae told him that he is suspicious in a lot of ways. While they were talking in front of the Hunter Tower, someone was looking at them from the tower. It was Sung Jin-ho and Park Soon. Park Soon reported everything to Jin-ho about Kang. Jin-ho asks if there was anything else unusual. Park Soon, who had been with Kang during the license process, replied that apart from Kang's exceptional learning speed, there was nothing unusual. He said to put it more simply, Kang is quick to grasp the situation and understands how to apply concepts, so he seemed to be able to quickly learn and utilize everything. Jinho was disappointed by the lack of anything extraordinary, mentioning that Enforcement Unit 1 regards Kang a bit more specially. They said his movements and body balance were unusual. They even asked if the class tester was broken or not. Park Soon told him that no abnormalities were found on the tester when it was inspected immediately after. Park Soon said, I'm sure Kang is a Class F, and even if there's room for skill growth, he won't be able to escape the lower ranks. He asked Jinho if everyone is more sensitive because an isolationist appeared after such a long time. Jinho told Park Soon that he was looking forward to it a lot too. But what a shame. He asked Park Soon about Kang's plans for the future. Park Soon told Jinho that Kang is going to help at his friend's diner. Then the next day at Suntae's restaurant, Suntae set up a smartphone and gave it to Kang so that he can contact Suntae with that in the future. When Kang thanked him, Suntae told Kang to not thank him because he bought this with the isolationist subsidy. Soo-young asked Kang if he needed anything else. Kang thought a bit and asked them if he should get a haircut or not. Kang said that he hadn't thought about it much until now, but the majority of men here wear their hair short, so he stands out too much. Soo-young's eyes shine brightly when she hears that. She said it's a really good idea and asked Kang what kind of hairstyle he wants. She said she thinks short hair will definitely suit Kang, but what does he think? Suntae knows that if Soo-young gets excited like that, it gets exhausting. So he decides to leave her to Kang and escape. He stands up and while laughing says, anything will suit Kang, but I must go prepare ingredients now. Excited, Soo-young took Kang to her favorite salon. Suntae was also forced to come. After the haircut, when Kang comes out, Suntae is amazed to see him. Suntae comments on how extremely handsome Kang looks, but also feels a strange and eerie aura around him. People in the vicinity can't help but notice his awesomely good looks and are taken aback by his presence. One lady approaches him, mistaking him for a celebrity, and asks for his autograph and a picture. But Suntae intervenes and explains that Kang is just an ordinary guy, not a celebrity. The lady apologizes, realizing her mistake, and admits that she was captivated by his stunning appearance. Suntae was exhausted after explaining that to many people. Suntae said, I thought something was wrong, and I was right. Kang, confused with all that talk, asks Suntae why he can't take any pictures, and why did that girl ask for an autograph. Suntae said, Kang, you are so handsome that she mistook you for a celebrity. And if we let people take pictures just like that, then it will definitely be uploaded on social media. If people share it amongst themselves, and it spreads, more people will recognize you, and it will slowly become more and more troublesome. And Kang, you don't wish for that life, do you? Kang, who understands all that, realizes that Suntae just saved him. Now he knows that he has to be careful in the future because nothing good will come out of standing out. However, news about Kang's handsome face spreads quickly, and people start posting about him on social media. They find it hard to believe that someone who looks so good can lead a normal life. Meanwhile, Spring Pavilion, the restaurant where Kang works, is bustling with business. Despite the turmoil happening outside, the customers inside are grateful and appreciative. Kang goes around taking orders from the customers, and each interaction leaves them stunned by his beauty. When Kang smiles and asks for the order, one lady, overwhelmed by his charm, covers her face and nervously places an order for 2 bowls of black bean noodles. Kang continues serving customers, and it seems like he has acquired the ultimate waiter's charisma. Suntae supports him, ensuring that everything he needs is readily available. The restaurant is filled with women who can't help but admire Kang's appearance. As the story unfolds, it becomes clear that Kang's attractive looks are causing quite a stir. However, as they tasted the food, they were pleasantly surprised by its incredible deliciousness. They couldn't help but express their desire to become regular patrons of the restaurant. This presents a tremendous opportunity for Kang, as it would not only increase his popularity on Instagram, but also attract a larger customer base. Even though they initially came because of Kang, the exceptional quality of the food ensured that they would return again and again. Inside the bustling restaurant, Soo-young was managing the bills. Suddenly, a lady opened the restaurant door and asked Soo-young if there were any empty seats right now. Soo-young apologized to her as they are full right now. The lady was disappointed because she really wanted to eat here. However, She decided to wait until there's an empty seat. And to her surprise, she discovered a sizable crowd of people, mostly women, eagerly waiting to be seated. These individuals wore attractive looks, hoping they were close to securing a spot. Soo-young gets nervous to see that many customers. She told them to wait a moment because they are almost out of ingredients too, so it would be a better idea to come again tomorrow. But a girl pushed the crowd to move forward and reach Soo-young. It was a beautiful woman with short hair named Kim Ji-yu. She introduced herself as a part-time worker who was there for an interview. Soo-young was taken aback by her stunning appearance, so the first waifu has appeared. Soo-young welcomed her into the restaurant. Kim Ji entered the student and told her biodata that she is 23 years old, just graduated from college, and currently preparing for employment. Soo-young said they posted that job advertisement urgently because they were really short on hands, and she applied so quickly. So, she's hired without any further review. Soo-young gets happy to hear that and told Kim Ji that Spring Pavilion is very famous, so she really wanted to work here. Soo-young was impressed by Kim Ji when she heard her talking about the restaurant's popularity. But our waifu's all the attention was on handsome Kang. When Kang looks back at her, Kim Ji starts to blush. She said, "The employee Appa here is very handsome." But Kang looks at her not because she is pretty, but he looks at her because she was releasing an incredible aura. It was strong and captivating, piquing Kang's curiosity about her story. Kang knows that in this place, those with strong powers are well treated, and it was said their quality of life is different, so it was weird for her to work there. While he was looking at Kim Ji working, Kim Ji noticed him and got nervous. But because she could talk to Kang, Soo-young called her. She asked Kim Ji to first take care of wrapping the pickled radishes, serving, and taking orders, and she gets to the work she was assigned. Soo-young then gave the order list to Kang and asked him to deliver these in the listed order. Kang understood and started to pack the orders one by one. Because Kang is going, he put on his helmet and said, "I'm leaving for the delivery." And just like a wife, Kim Ji turns around and says, "Please go ahead." Sun-tae saw all that, and when Kang left, he asked Kim Ji if she could help with packing the food. Kim Ji agreed, as this is her work. But she couldn't help but feel overwhelmed by the number of customers. When she was engrossed in her work, suddenly she got startled by someone approaching from behind. It was none other than Kang, who had returned from his delivery route. She wondered how he was able to deliver so quickly, to which Kang casually replied that the addresses were nearby. Although it was evident to everyone working in the restaurant that Kang possessed a level of speed that defied ordinary limits, Kim Ji was unaware of it. Sun-tae again filled up the delivery box and told Kang that he can take it. Grabbing the box, Kang left again. Kim Ji again sees him off. Outside, it was raining hard, but Kang swiftly returns after completing all the deliveries. When Kang returns, Sun-tae welcomes and informs him that it was the last delivery for lunchtime. Soo-young and Sun-tae have busied themselves in the kitchen. It seemed like they were preparing for the evening traffic. Curious Kang asks Soo-young if they were indeed getting ready for the rush. Soo-young confirms his suspicions and mentions that it was already time to pick up Ha-young. Kim Ji remembers Soo-young mentioning that they have a young daughter and she's 5 years old this year. Soo-young asks Kang if he could please pick up Ha-young from school because they got a rush of customers, and she has hardly been able to prepare for the evening. Kang agrees and says that he will be back immediately. Taking advantage of the situation, Kim Ji nervously asks Soo-young if she could accompany Kang to pick up Ha-young. She admits that she would like to meet Ha-young as well. Sun-tae catches on to Kim Ji's nerves and gives Soo-young a playful wink. Soo-young catches on quickly and gives permission, saying that they can manage the preparations with just the two of them here. With their plans set, Kang and Kim Ji left the house together and could be seen walking side by side on the sidewalk or crossing the street, both using their umbrellas to shield themselves from the rain. During their walk, Kim Ji introduces herself as a 23-year-old. She asks Kang if she could call him Kang Oppa. Kang, acknowledging the age gap between them, says, "I am 35 this year, but you are free to call me whatever makes you comfortable." Kim Ji is surprised to hear that he is 35 years old. She says, "This is unbelievable. You don't look like that at all." Kang, who doesn't understand modern age and people, tells her that everyone says that to him for some reason. But as curiosity gets the better of him, Kang decides to ask Kim Ji why she had chosen to work at Spring Pavilion, considering her extraordinary capabilities. He wonders why she would settle for an ordinary job when she clearly has so much potential. Uncomfortable with the question, Kim Ji looks around nervously and stammers that she doesn't understand what he meant. Faced with the need to come up with a response, she lies, claiming she has no ulterior motives for working there and simply wants to get closer to Kang. Kim Ji accidentally tells him the truth, embarrassed. She tries to change the subject and suddenly points out a familiar face. She exclaims, "Isn't that child Hayoung?" They spotted Hayoung with her teacher inside a nearby building. When Hayoung saw Kang, she jumped in happiness and called him. Kang asks Hayoung if she had a great time at school, and with a cute smile, she replies, "Yes, uncle." She introduces Kang as her uncle to the teacher. The surprised teacher warmly greets Kang, telling that Hayoung talks a lot about her uncle. But when the teacher sees Kang, she is taken aback by his handsome appearance. She was just looking at Kang's handsome face, but when Kang suddenly calls her, she comes back to her senses and immediately apologizes. She also notices someone behind and mistakenly assumes she is Kang's girlfriend. But when the teacher saw Kim Ji, both Kim Ji and the teacher were surprised. They both recognized each other, and that made Kim Ji nervous. She gave signals to the teacher to not say anything, but as the teacher recognized Kim Ji, she asked her what she was doing. But before she could complete her words, Kim Ji shut the female teacher's mouth. That teacher, Sarah, understands the situation. Sarah said, "Kim Ji, what are you doing here? And what about your guild duties?" Kim Ji told her to keep it down because Hayoung's family thinks she is a regular person. She told teacher Sarah that she is hiding her identity for a reason and asked her to please pretend she doesn't know. Teacher Sarah agrees to her request. Then Kang handed Hayoung her umbrella, ensuring she was protected from the rain. The adorable sight of Hayoung holding her little umbrella melted their hearts. Hayoung bid farewell to her teacher and continued walking. Kang also said his farewell to that teacher and went with Hayoung and Kim Ji. As they walked home, Hayoung was having fun in the rain, but Kim Ji was pretending that both happened there. Kang wondered if the teacher they encountered was a friend of Kim Ji. Kim Ji, hesitant but confirmed that they were indeed friends. Kang asked her that if this is the case, why didn't she talk more? Kim Ji laughed it off, saying that they meet often enough so it's good. She tried to change the subject and said, "Walking with an umbrella on a rainy day like this is just so nice, right Hayoung?" Hayoung, who was going ahead, laughed brightly and said, "Yes, I like it. Does the pretty sister also like the umbrella?" Kim Ji, blushing all over, goes to Hayoung and said, "I like walking with you, Kang uncle." Hayoung laughs and asks her if she is going to be her auntie. Kim Ji gets too embarrassed to answer. Curious, Kang asked Hayoung if the umbrella was too heavy, to which Hayoung confidently replied that it wasn't heavy at all and that she could hold it by herself. Then they continued their journey home, but their journey took an unexpected turn when they passed by an alleyway. Hayoung spotted something in there and said, "Uncle, there is something in there." Without hesitation, she rushed towards it. The sound of squeaking filled the air as they approached. To their surprise, it was a small creature nestled in the corner. The creature looked like a mouse, and Kang speculated why it had collapsed in the rain. But when Kim Ji saw the creature, she realized that it was no ordinary mouse shivering from the cold but rather a dungeon rat.